A Children's Museum Guide. Chapter 1. Some lists of children's museum websites. Children's museum websites. childrensmuseums.org. bechildmuse.org, Brooklyn Children's Museum. ccm.org, Capital Children's Museum. cdm.org, Children's Discovery Museum. childrensmuseum.org, Chicago Children's Museum. childrensmuseum.org, Museum of Indianapolis. civilization.ca/indexc.asp, Canadian Children's Museum. mcm.org, Minnesota Children's Museum. thechildrensmuseum.org, The Children's Museum Seattle. magichouse.org, St. Louis Children's Museum. childrenmuseum.org, Providence Children's Museum, Providence. discoverygateway.org, Utah Children's Museum, Salt Lake City. Betty Bryn Children's Museum. 929 East Wisconsin Avenue, Milwaukee, WI. bbcmkids.org. Boothiel Youth Museum. 700A North Douglas, Malden, MO. boothelioUTHmuseum.org. Boston Children's Museum. 308 Congress Street, Boston, MA. bostonchildrensmuseum.org. Children's Creativity Museum. 221 4th Street, San Francisco, CA. creativity.org. Children's Discovery Museum. 101 E Beaufort, Normal, IL. childrensdiscoverymuseum.net. Children's Discovery Museum of San Jose. 180 Wasway, San Jose, CA. cdm.org. Children's Discovery Museum, Maine. 171 Capitol Street Suite 2, Augusta, ME. childrensdiscoverymuseum.org. Children's Museum at La Habra. 301 South Euclid Street, La Habra, CA. lhcm.org. Children's Museum of Eau Claire. 220 South Barstow Street, Eau Claire, WI. cmec.cc. Children's Museum of Houston. 1500 Binns Street, Houston, TX. cmhouston.org. Children's Museum of Illinois. 55 South Country Club Road, Decatur, IL. cmophil.org. Children's Museum of La Crosse. 207 5th Avenue South, La Crosse, WI. funmuseum.org. Children's Museum of Pittsburgh. 10 Children's Way, Pittsburgh, PA. pittsburghkids.org. Children's Museum of Virginia. 221 High Street, Portsmouth, VA. childrensmuseumva.com. Children's Museum Tucson. 200 South 6th Avenue, Tucson, AZ. childrensmuseumtucson.org. Children's Science Center. 11948L Fair Oaks Mall, Fairfax, VA. childci.org. CNSE Children's Museum of Science and Technology, CNSE Most. 250 Jordan Road, Troy, New York. cmost.com. Discovery Children's Museum. 360 Promenade Place, Las Vegas, NV. discoveryKidsLV.org. Duluth Children's Museum. 115 South 29th Avenue West, Duluth, MN. duluthchildrensmuseum.org. Adventure Children's Museum. 211 Gervais Street, Columbia, SC. adventure.org. Flint Children's Museum. 1602 West University Avenue, Flint, MI. flintchildrensmuseum.org. Gilbert House Children's Museum. 116 Marion Street Northeast, Salem, or acgilbert.org. Great Explorations Children's Museum. 1925, 4th Street North. St. Petersburg, FL. GreatExplorations.org. Imagine Children's Museum. 1502, Wall Street. Everett, WA. ImagineCM.org. KidSpace Children's Museum. 480, North Arroyo Boulevard. Pasadena, CA. KidSpaceMuseum.org. Kids Quest Children's Museum. 4091, Factoria Mall Southeast. Bellevue, WA. KidsQuestMuseum.org. Lander Children's Museum. 465, Lincoln Avenue. Lander, WY. LanderChildren'sMuseum.org. Long Island Children's Museum. 11, Davis Avenue. Garden City, New York. Lichem.org. Louisiana Children's Museum. 420, Julia Street. New Orleans, LA. LCM.org. Lutz Children's Museum. 247, South Main Street. Manchester, CT. LutzMuseum.org. Madison Children's Museum. 100, North Hamilton Street. Madison, WI. MadisonChildren'sMuseum.org. Marbles Kids Museum. 201, East Hargett Street. Raleigh, NC. MarblesKidsMuseum.org. Mid-Hudson Children's Museum. 75, North Water Street. Poughkeepsie, New York. MHCM.org. Mississippi Children's Museum. 2145, Highland Drive. Jackson, MS. MississippiChildren'sMuseum.com. Muncie Children's Museum. 515, South High Street. Muncie, in. MuncieMuseum.com. Oh wow! The Roger and Gloria Jones Children's Center for Science and Technology. 11, West Federal Street. Youngstown, O. OWowKids.org. Omaha Children's Museum. 500, South 20th Street. Omaha, NE. OCM.org. Orpheum Children's Science Museum. 346, North Neal Street. Champaign, IL. OrpheumKids.com. Portland Children's Museum. 4015, Southwest Kenyon Road. Portland, or. PortlandCM.org. Providence Children's Museum. 100, South Street. Providence, RI. ChildrenMuseum.org. Science Factory Children's Museum and Exploration Dome. 2300, Leo Harris Parkway. Eugene, or. ScienceFactory.org. Staten Island Children's Museum. 1000, Richmond Terrace. Staten Island, New York. SIChildren'sMuseum.org. Stepping Stones Museum for Children. Matthews Park, 303 West Avenue. Norwalk, CT. SteppingStonesMuseum.org. Terre Haute Children's Museum. 727 Wabash Avenue. Terre Haute, in. Terre Haute Children'sMuseum.com. The Brooklyn Children's Museum. 145 Brooklyn Avenue. Brooklyn, New York. BrooklynKids.org. The Building for Kids. 100 West College Avenue. Appleton, WI. BuildingForKids.org. The Children's Museum. 950 Trout Brook Drive. West Hartford, CT. The Children's MuseumCT.org. The Children's Museum of Indianapolis. 3000 North Meridian Street. Indianapolis, in. Children'sMuseum.org. The Children's Museum of New Hampshire. 6 Washington Street. Dover, NH. CHILDRENS-MUSEUM.org. The Deuceum, formerly San Antonio Children's Museum. 2800 Broadway Street. San Antonio, TX. SakiDS.org. The Rocky Mount Children's Museum and Science Center. 270 Gay Street, Rocky Mount, NC. Museum.imperialcenter.org. The Thinkery, the New Austin Children's Museum. 1830 Simond Avenue, Austin, TX. ThinkeryAustin.org. Children's Museum websites at dmoz-odp.org/reference/museum/children %27s_museums. Subcategories: Europe, North America. Related categories: Kids and Teens. Reference Education. Society, People, Generations and Age Groups, Youth. museumvictoria.com.au/scienceworks, Scienceworks Museum, featuring hands-on exhibits, live demonstrations, tours, activities, and shows. Includes hours, information for teachers, admission rates, and directions. Located in Victoria, Australia. SeoulChildren'sMuseum.org, Seoul Children's Museum, hands-on participatory exhibits and programs, and visitor information. Located in Seoul, Korea. English, Korean, Chinese, Japanese. Children's Museum websites at blog.feedspot.com/children_museum_blogs. blog.imaginecm.org. Boston Children's Museum.blog. Bronx Children's Museum.org/news. cdm.org/blog. Cheshire Children's Museum.org/blog. childrens-museum.org/blog. Children's Art Museum.india.com/blog. Children's Discovery Museum.org/blog. Children's Museum.org/blog. Children's Museum Atlanta.org/blog. Children's Museum-of-Montana.org/blog. Children's Museum-of-Phoenix.org/about-the-museum/news. Children's Museum-of-Richmond.org/blog. Children's Museums.org/blog. cmany.org/blog. cmfdl.org/about-the-museum/news-2. cmhouston.org/news. cmofbrownsville.org/blog. command.org/blog. cmoc.org/blog. cmsouthernmn.org/category/cmsm-blog. Duluth Children's Museum.org/blog. DuPagechildren's.org/blog. exploreandmore.org/blog. greytrivarcm.org/blog. greentrike.org/blog. jhchildrensmuseum.org/blog. kid-museum.org/blog. kitales.org/news-blog. London Children's Museum.ca/blog. Madison Children's Museum.wordpress.com. mbcmuseum.com/follow-along. mcm.org/parent-resources/powers-of-play-blog. museumofchildhood.ie/education-blog. Niantic Children's Museum.org/blog. ocm.org/blog. playstreetmuseum.com/blog. portdiscovery.org/learn. prairieplay.org/sees-the-play. Santafe Children's Museum.org/category/in-the-news. SI Children's Museum.org/category/happenings. socalkids.org/news-events. sparkrocestarmn.org/blog. tagmuseum.org/blog. Temple Children's Museum.org/blog. thinkeryaustin.org/blog. thinkmomi.org/about-momi/blog. thinkplaycreate.org/about/blog. Toy Museum websites. bearmuseum.co.uk, The Bear Museum, Teddy Bear. marvin3m.com, Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum, Pinball Machines, and more. Puppet.org, Center for Puppetry Arts. umkc.edu/tmm, Kansas City Toy and Miniature Museum, doll houses, antiques and contemporary toys. Chapter 2. A list of children's museums by U.S. state at familyminded.com/s/america's-best-children's-museums-by-state-034ab259834054. Alabama, Children's Hands-On Museum of Tuscaloosa. chomonline.org. Alaska, Fairbanks Children's Museum. fairbankschildrensmuseum.com. Arizona, Children's Museum of Phoenix. Children's Museum of Phoenix.org. Arkansas, Scott Family Amazium. Amazum.org. Bentonville, California, Children's Creativity Museum. Creativity.org. Colorado, Children's Museum of Denver. mychildsmuseum.org. Connecticut, the Children's Museum in West Hartford. The Children's Museumct.org. Delaware, Delaware Children's Museum. Wilmington, Delaware Children's Museum.org. Florida, Miami Children's Museum. MiamiChildren'sMuseum.org. Georgia, Children's Museum of Atlanta. Children's Museum Atlanta.org. Hawaii, Hawaii Children's Discovery Center. DiscoveryCenterHawaii.org. Idaho, Children's Museum of Idaho. CMIdaho.org. Meridian, Illinois, Chicago Children's Museum. ChicagoChildren'sMuseum.org. Indiana, the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. Children'sMuseum.org. Iowa, Launchpad Children's Museum. LaunchpadMuseum.com. Kansas, Kansas Children's Discovery Center. KansasDiscovery.org. Kentucky, Explorium of Lexington. Explorium.com. Lexington. Louisiana, Louisiana Children's Museum. New Orleans, LCM.org. Maine, Children's Museum and Theatre of Maine. Kitales.org. Thompson's Point, Maryland, Port Discovery Children's Museum. Baltimore, portdiscovery.org. Massachusetts, Boston Children's Museum. bostonchildrensmuseum.org. Michigan, Ann Arbor Hands-On Museum. AOM.org. Minnesota, Minnesota Children's Museum. St. Paul, MCM.org. Mississippi, Mississippi Children's Museum. MSChildrensmuseum.org. Jackson, Missouri, The Magic House. St. Louis, MagiChouse.org. Montana, Children's Museum of Montana. Children's Museumofmontana.org. Nebraska, Omaha Children's Museum. OCM.org. Nevada, Discovery Children's Museum. Las Vegas Symphony Park. DiscoveryKidsLV.org, Discovery. New Hampshire, Children's Museum of New Hampshire. CHILDRENS-MUSEUM.org. New Jersey, Garden State Discovery Museum. DiscoveryMuseum.com. New Mexico, Santa Fe Children's Museum. SantaFeChildrensMuseum.org. New York, Children's Museum of the Arts. CMany.org. North Carolina, Discovery Place. Downtown Charlotte, Science.discoveryplace.org. North Dakota, the Children's Museum at Yunker Farm. Facebook.com/the-children's-museum-at-yunker-farm-121642361197709, Yunker Farm. Fargo, Ohio, Children's Museum Cleveland. cmcleveland.org. Oklahoma, Jasmine Moran Children's Museum. jasminemoran.com. Oregon, Portland Children's Museum. Pennsylvania, Please Touch Museum. Philadelphia, PleaseTouchMuseum.org. Rhode Island, Providence Children's Museum. ChildrenMuseum.org. South Carolina, Children's Museum of the Low. Charleston. ExploreCML.org. South Dakota, Children's Museum of South Dakota. PrairiePlay.org. Tennessee, Creative Discovery Museum. Chattanooga. CDMFun.org. Texas, Thinkory. ThinkoryAustin.org. Austin. Utah, Treehouse Museum. Ogden. TreehouseMuseum.org. Vermont, Wonderfeet Kids Museum. WonderfeetKidsMuseum.org. Downtown Rutland. Virginia, Children's Museum of Richmond. Children's Museum of Richmond.org. Washington, Seattle Children's Museum. TheChildren'sMuseum.org. West Virginia, Children's Museum of the Ohio Valley. CMOVkids.org. Wisconsin, Madison Children's Museum. MadisonChildren'sMuseum.org. Wyoming, Jackson Hole Children's Museum. JHChildren'sMuseum.org. Chapter 3. Children's Museums by State at aam-us.org/about-museum/find-a-museum. Children's Museums by State. Alabama. Children's Hands-On Museum. Tuscaloosa, A.L. Arkansas. Scott Family Amazeum. Bentonville, A.R. Arizona. IDEA. Museum. Mesa, A.Z. California. Kidspace Children's Museum. Pasadena, CA. Children's Creativity Museum. San Francisco, CA. Children's Discovery Museum of San Jose. San Jose, CA. Bay Area Discovery Museum. Sausalito, CA. KidZone Museum. Truckee, CA. Colorado. Children's Museum of Denver. Denver, CO. Wow. Children's Museum. Lafayette, CO. Connecticut. New Britain Youth Museum. New Britain, CT. District of Columbia. National Children's Museum. Washington, D.C. Florida. Florida Children's Museum. Lakeland, FL. Miami Children's Museum. Miami, FL. Pensacola Children's Museum. Pensacola, FL. Great Explorations. St. Petersburg, FL. Iowa. Family Museum of Arts and Science. Bettendorf, IA. Illinois. Chicago Children's Museum. Chicago, IL. Children's Discovery Museum. Normal, IL. Indiana. The Children's Museum of Indianapolis. Indianapolis, IN. Kansas. Kansas Children's Discovery Center. Topeka, KS. Louisiana. Louisiana Children's Museum. New Orleans, LA. Massachusetts. Boston Children's Museum. Boston, MA. Children's Museum at Holyoke. Holyoke, MA. Maryland. Chesapeake Children's Museum. Annapolis, MD. Port Discovery Children's Museum. Baltimore, MD. Rose Hill Manor Park and Children's Museum. Frederick, MD. Gaithersburg Community Museum. Gaithersburg, MD. Michigan. Grand Rapids Children's Museum. Grand Rapids, MI. Minnesota. Minnesota Children's Museum. St. Paul, MN. Missouri. Children's Peace Pavilion. Independence, MO. Bootheel Youth Museum. Malden, MO. Discovery Center of Springfield. Springfield, MO. Mississippi. Lynn Meadows Discovery Center. Gulfport, MS. Mississippi Children's Museum. Jackson, MS. North Carolina. Discovery Place Kids, Huntersville. Huntersville, NC. Marbles Kids Museum. Raleigh, NC. Discovery Place Kids, Rockingham. Rockingham, NC. Nebraska. Kearney Area Children's Museum. Kearney, NE. New York. Brooklyn Children's Museum. Brooklyn, New York. Long Island Children's Museum. Garden City, New York. World Awareness Children's Museum. Glens Falls, New York. Ossining Children's Center. Ossining, New York. Mid-Hudson Discovery Museum. Poughkeepsie, New York. Ohio. Duke Energy Children's Museum. Cincinnati, O. Pennsylvania. Neighborhood North Museum of Play. Beaver Falls, PA. Experience Children's Museum. Erie, PA. Please Touch Museum. Philadelphia, PA. South Carolina. Main Street Children's Museum. Rock Hill, SC. Tennessee. Children's Museum of Memphis. Memphis, TN. Texas. National Center for Children's Illustrated Literature. Abilene, TX. Children's Museum Houston. Houston, TX. West Bay Common School Children's Museum. League City, TX. Utah. Museum of Natural Curiosity. Lehigh, UT. Discovery Gateway. Salt Lake City, UT. Virginia. Children's Science Center. Fairfax, VA. Children's Museum of Virginia. Portsmouth, VA. Shenandoah Valley Discovery Museum. Winchester, VA. Washington. Imagine Children's Museum. Everett, WA. Seattle Children's Museum. Seattle, WA. Children's Museum of Tacoma. Tacoma, WA. Wisconsin. Children's Museum of Fond du Lac. Fond du Lac, WI. Madison Children's Museum. Madison, WI. Children's Museum websites. choemonline.org. amazum.org. ideamuseum.org. kidspacemuseum.org. creativity.org. cdm.org. berea-discoverymuseum.org. kidzonemuseum.org. mychildsmuseum.org. wowchildrensmuseum.org. New Britain Youthmuseum.org. nationalchildrensmuseum.org. explorationsv.com. miamichildrensmuseum.org. historicpensacola.org. greetex.org. familymuseum.org. childrensdiscoverymuseum.net. childrensmuseum.org. kansasdiscovery.org. lcm.org. bostonchildrensmuseum.org. childrensmuseumholyoke.org. theccm.org. portdiscovery.org. rosehillmuseum.com. gaithersburg.gov/about-gaithersburg/city-facilities/gaithersburg-community-museum. grcm.org. mcm.org. thepeacepavilion.org. boothelioUTHmuseum.org. discoverycenter.org. lmdc.org. mschildrensmuseum.org. huntersville.discoveryplacekids.org. marbleskidsmuseum.org. rockingham.discoveryplacekids.org. kearneychildrensmuseum.org. brooklynkids.org. lichem.org. worldchildrensmuseum.org. ossining-childrencenter.org. mhdm.org. cincymuseum.org/children's museum. neighborhoodnorth.com. eriechildrensmuseum.org. pleasetouchmuseum.org. chmuseums.org/children's. cmom.com. nccil.org. cmhouston.org. oniroomschoolhouse.org. thanksgivingpoint.org/visit/museum of natural curiosity. discoverygateway.org, childci.org, childrensmusumva.com, discoverymuseum.net, imaginecm.org, seattlechildrensmuseum.org, playtacoma.org, cmfdl.org, madisonchildrensmuseum.org. Chapter 4. 675 plus Children's Museum websites at Museum Susa. 1940 Air Terminal Museum. 1940AIRTERMINAL.org. Houston, Texas. AHA! A Hands-on Adventure, A Children's Museum. AHA4KIDS.org. Lancaster, Ohio. Alden B. Dow Museum of Science and Art. MCFTA.org. Midland, Michigan. Ava Gallery and Art Center. members.valley.net/Ava. Lebanon, New Hampshire. Adventure Aquarium. adventureaquarium.com. Camden, New Jersey. Airzoo Aviation History Museum of Kalamazoo. airzoo.com. Portage, Michigan. Alaska House, New York. alaskahouseny.org. New York, New York. Alaska Museum of Natural History. alaskamuseum.org. Anchorage, Alaska. Albany Pine Bush Discovery Center. albanypinebush.org. Albany, New York. Alliance for the Arts. avaarts.org. Logan, Utah. Amazement Square, the Reitmeyer Children's Museum. amazementschur.org. Lynchburg, Virginia. Amelia Park Children's Museum. ameliaparkmuseum.org. Westfield, Massachusetts. American Textile History Museum. athm.org. Lowell, Massachusetts. American Visionary Art Museum. avam.org. Baltimore, Maryland. Anderson County Arts Center. andersonarts.org. Anderson, South Carolina. Angels Camp Museum. angelscamp.gov. Angels Camp, California. Anne Marie Sculpture Garden and Arts Center. annemariegarden.org. Solomons, Maryland. Appalachian Trail Museum. atmuseum.org. Gardner's, Pennsylvania. Aquarium of Niagara. aquariumofniagara.org. Niagara Falls, New York. Aquarium of the Bay. aquariumofthebay.org. San Francisco, California. Arbuckle Historical Society of Murray County Museum, Sulphur, OK Branch. ahsmc.org. Sulphur, Oklahoma. Artworks, Inc. Studios and Galleries. artworksrichmond.com. Richmond, Virginia. Artesia Historical Museum and Art Center. artesianm.gov/index.php/visitors-main/museum-vis. Artesia, New Mexico. Ashfall Fossil Bed State Historical Park. ashfall.unl.edu. Royal, Nebraska. Aspen Art Museum. aspenartmuseum.org. Aspen, Colorado. Atlanta History Center. atlantahistorycenter.com. Atlanta, Georgia. Aurora Valentinetti Puppet Museum and Evergreen Children's Theater. ectnpuppets.org. Bremerton, Washington. Austin Children's Museum. austinkids.org. Austin, Texas. Austin Nature and Science Center. ci.austin.tx.us/ansc. Austin, Texas. Avampato Discovery Museum at the Clay Center for the Arts and Sciences. theclaycenter.org. Charleston, West Virginia. Barrington History Museum. barringtonhistorymuseum.org. Barrington, Illinois. Baltimore and Ohio, B&O, Railroad Museum. borail.org. Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore Streetcar Museum. baltimorestreetcar.org. Baltimore, Maryland. Balzekas Museum of Lithuanian Culture. balzekasmuseum.org. Chicago, Illinois. Barker Character Comic and Cartoon Museum. barkermuseum.com. Cheshire, Connecticut. Barnum Museum. barnum-museum.org. Bridgeport, Connecticut. Bay Area Discovery Museum. baykidsmuseum.org. Sausalito, California. Bayou Country Children's Museum. bayoucountrychildrensmuseum.org. Thibodaux, Louisiana. Beringer Crawford Museum. bcmuseum.org. Covington, Kentucky. Bel Air Toy and Plastic Brick Museum. dancetoymuseum.blogspot.com. Bel Air, Ohio. Belrickton Museum. Belding, Michigan. Benicia Historical Museum at the Camel Barns. BeniciaHistoricalMuseum.org. Benicia, California. Berkshire Museum. BerkshireMuseum.org. Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Berthoud Historical Society. BerthoudHistoricalSociety.org. Berthoud, Colorado. Betty Bryn Children's Museum. bbcmkids.org. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Black River Academy. bramvt.org. Ludlow, Vermont. Blandon Art Museum. blandon.org. Fort Dodge, Iowa. Bluedorn Science Imaginarium. groutmuseumdistrict.org. Waterloo, Iowa. Boca Raton Children's Museum. cmboca.com. Boca Raton, Florida. Bok Tower Gardens. boktowergardens.org. Lake Wales, Florida. Ballinger County Museum of Natural History. bcmnh.org. Marble Hill, Missouri. Bunshoft Museum of Discovery. boonshoftmuseum.org. Dayton, Ohio. Boston Athenaeum. bostonathenaeum.org. Boston, Massachusetts. Boston Children's Museum. bostonkids.org. Boston, Massachusetts. Boulder Museum of Contemporary Art. bmoca.org. Boulder, Colorado. Bowers Kidswim. Bowers.org. Santa Ana, California. Bowers Museum. Bowers.org. Santa Ana, California. Bowie Railroad Museum and Welcome Center. cityofbowie.org/museum. Bowie, Maryland. Brattleboro Museum and Art Center. brattleboromuseum.org. Brattleboro, Vermont. Brazos Valley Museum of Natural History. brazosvalleymuseum.org. Bryan, Texas. Bridges to the Future Children's Museum. successpublishing.com/bridges. Cleveland, Ohio. Bronzeville Children's Museum. bronzevillechildrensmuseum.com. Chicago, Illinois. Brooklyn Children's Museum. brooklynkids.org. Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn Historical Society. brooklynhistory.org. Brooklyn, New York. Bruce Museum of Arts and Science. brucemuseum.org. Greenwich, Connecticut. Buffalo County Historical Society/Trails and Rails Museum. bchs.us. Kearney, Nebraska. Buggy Barn Museum. buggybarnmuseum.com. Blanco, Texas. Burke Museum of Natural History and Culture. burkemuseum.org. Seattle, Washington. Burlingame Museum of Pez Memorabilia. burlingamepezmuseum.com. Burlingame, California. Kman. Golisano Children's Museum of Naples. Kman.org. Naples, Florida. Cachuma Lake Nature Center. sbparks.com/docs/kachumacalendar.html Santa Barbara, California. Caesars Creek Pioneer Village, Inc. CaesarsCreekPioneerVillage.org. Waynesville, Ohio. California Agriculture Museum. CaliforniaAgMuseum.org. Woodland, California. Camp William B. Snyder and Cub World. boyscouts-ncac.org/Camp Snyder. Haymarket, Virginia. Cantigny Gardens and Museums. Cantigny.org. Wheaton, Illinois. Cape Cod Children's Museum. Capicod Children's Museum.org. Mashpee, Massachusetts. Cape Henry Lighthouse. PreservationVirginia.org/visit/historic-properties/Cape-Henry-Lighthouse. Virginia Beach, Virginia. Carlsbad Children's Museum. Carlsbad, California. Carolyn Parr Nature Museum. Napa, California. Carrie Meek, James N. Eaton, Sr. Southeastern Regional Black Archives Research Center and Museum. cis.famu.edu/blackarchives/expventures.html. Tallahassee, Florida. Casasola Museum/Museo Casasola. CasasolaMuseum.com. CasasolaMuseum.org. Old Mesilla, New Mexico. Cayman Islands National Museum. Museum.ky. Georgetown, Cayman Islands. Cedarhurst Center for the Arts. cedarhurst.org. Mount Vernon, Illinois. Celery Flats Historical Area, City of Portage Parks and Rec. Department. kalamazoo.com/celery.htm. Portage, Michigan. Charles H. Wright of African American History. TheWright.org. Detroit, Michigan. Charlotte Museum of History and Hezekiah Alexander Homesite. charlottemuseum.org. Charlotte, North Carolina. Chattahoochee Nature Center. chattanooga.org. Roswell, Georgia. Cherokee Museum. Oroville, California. Cherokee Strip Museum. CHEROKEE-STRIP-MUSEUM.org. Perry, Oklahoma. Cherryville Historical Museum. Visit gaston.org/gaston-county-item/cherryville-historical-museum.html. Cherryville, North Carolina. Chesapeake Children's Museum. theccm.org. Annapolis, Maryland. Chicago Children's Museum. ChiChildren'sMuseum.org. Chicago, Illinois. Child Development, Inc. Children's Activity Museum. thechildrensactivitymuseum.org. Ellensburg, Washington. Children's Art Museum. San Angelo, Texas. Children's Discovery House. Children's Discovery Museum. cdm.org. San Jose, California. Children's Discovery Museum. childrensdiscoverymuseum.net. Normal, Illinois. Children's Discovery Museum of the Desert. cdmod.org. Rancho Mirage, California. Children's Galleries for Jewish Culture. Children's Hands-On Museum, CHOM. chomonline.org. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Children's Metamorphosis Museum. childrensmet.org. Derry, New Hampshire. Children's Museum. Blackie, Kentucky. Children's Museum. Medford, Oregon. Children's Museum. Kitales.org. Portland, Maine. Children's Museum. mcm.org. St. Paul, Minnesota. Children's Museum. mychildsmuseum.org. Denver, Colorado. Children's Museum. The Children's MuseumCT.org. West Hartford, Connecticut. Children's Museum at Holyoke. Children's Museum Holyoke.org. Holyoke, Massachusetts. Children's Museum at La Habra. LHCM.org. La Habra, California. Children's Museum at Yunker Farm. CHILDRENSMUSEUM-YUNKER.org. Fargo, North Dakota. Children's Museum in Easton. Children's Museum in Easton.org. Easton, Massachusetts. Children's Museum of Acadiana. Children's Museum of Acadiana.com/home?. Lafayette, Louisiana. Children's Museum of Central Nebraska. Children's Museum of Center County. Children's Museum of Cleveland. Cleveland Children's Museum.org. Cleveland, Ohio. Children's Museum of Fond du Lac. CMFDL.org. Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Children's Museum of Illinois. Children's Museum of Indianapolis. Children's Museum.org. Indianapolis, Indiana. Children's Museum of Iredell County. Children's Museum of KC. KCKidsFun.com. Kansas City, Missouri. Children's Museum of Memphis. CMOM.com. Memphis, Tennessee. Children's Museum of Montana. Children's Museum of Montana.org. Great Falls, Montana. Children's Museum of New Hampshire. CHILDRENS-MUSEUM.org. Dover, New Hampshire. Children's Museum of Oak Ridge. Children's Museum of Oakridge.org. Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Children's Museum of Richmond. C-MOR.org. Richmond, Virginia. Children's Museum of SE Connecticut. Children's Museumsect.org. Niantic, Connecticut. Children's Museum of South Carolina. CMSCkids.org. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Children's Museum of Stockton. Children's Museum of Tacoma. PlayTacoma.org. Tacoma, Washington. Children's Museum of Virginia. Children's MuseumVA.com. Portsmouth, Virginia. Children's Museum of Washington Inc. NCM.Museum. Washington, District of Columbia. Children's Museum of the Highlands. Children's Museum Highlands.com. Sebring, Florida. Children's Museum of the Sierras. Children's Museum of the Sierra.org. Oakhurst, California. Children's Museum/Museo de los Niños. Children's MuseumSD.org. San Diego, California. Children's Peace Exhibit. Institute for Children NSED.org. Temecula, California. Children's Science Explorium at Sugar Sand Park. ScienceExplorium.org. Boca Raton, Florida. Children's Museum of Manhattan. CMOM.org. New York, New York. Children's Museum of Eastern Oregon. CMEO.org. Pendleton, Oregon. Children's Museum of Northern Nevada. CMNN.org. Carson City, Nevada. Chippewarogs Hollow Historical Society. ChippewarogsHollow.org. Doylestown, Ohio. Christian C. Sanderson Museum. SandersonMuseum.org. Chadsford, Pennsylvania. Chula Vista Nature Center. Chula Vista Naturcenter.org. Chula Vista, California. City of Freeport Historical Museum. FreeportMuseum.com. Freeport, Texas. City of Greeley Centennial Village Museum. CentennialVillageMuseum.com. Greeley, Colorado. Clark Botanic Garden. North Hempstead, New York.gov/content/7354/7125/4697/default.aspx. Albertson, New York. Clark Planetarium. clarkplanetarium.org. Salt Lake City, Utah. Clarksville Museum. greatriverroad.com/hannibal/clarksmuse.hdm. Clarksville, Missouri. Cloud County Historical Society Museum. cloudcountymuseum.org. Concordia, Kansas. Collinsworth County Historical Museum. collingsworthcountymuseum.org. Wellington, Texas. Colorado Railroad Museum. coloradorailroadmuseum.org. Golden, Colorado. Colquitt County Arts Center. Comanche Crossing Historical Society and Museum. cchscolorado.com. Strasburg, Colorado. Conner Prairie. connerprairie.org. Fishers, Indiana. Conservancy of Southwest Florida, Naples Nature Center. conservancy.org. Naples, Florida. Corita Art Center, Immaculate Heart Community. corita.org. Los Angeles, California. Cornell Art Museum at Old School Square. oldschoolsquare.org/about/Cornell-Museum. Delray Beach, Florida. Cox Science Center and Aquarium. coxsciencecenter.org. West Palm Beach, Florida. Cradle of Aviation Museum. cradleofaviation.org. Garden City, New York. Crispin Antiquarian Foundation. crispinsdrugstoremuseum.com. Lincoln, Kansas. Crispusatucks Museum. crispusatucksmuseum.ips.k12.in.us. Indianapolis, Indiana. Crowley Museum and Nature Center. crowleyfl.org. Sarasota, Florida. Crystal Lake Falls Hist. Association. Crystal's Imagination Station. Cummer Museum of Art and Gardens. cummermuseum.org. Jacksonville, Florida. Curious Kids Museum. CuriousKidsMuseum.org. St. Joseph, Michigan. Sylvan Arboretum Association. sylvanassociation.org. Baltimore, Maryland. Dakota Discovery Museum. dakotadiscovery.com. Mitchell, South Dakota. Dallas Arboretum and Botanical Garden. dallasarboretum.org. Dallas, Texas. Dallas Public Schools Environmental Education Center. Danville Science Center. dsc.smv.org. Danville, Virginia. Decatur County Historical Museum. decaturcountyhistory.org. Greensburg, Indiana. Delaware Children's Museum. delawarechildrensmuseum.org. Wilmington, Delaware. Delmarva Discovery Center. delmarvadiscoverycenter.org. Pocomoke City, Maryland. Delta College Clever Planetarium and Earth Science Center. Denver Art Museum. denverartmuseum.org. Denver, Colorado. Denver Botanic Gardens. botanicgardens.org. Denver, Colorado. Denver Museum of Nature and Science. dmns.org. Denver, Colorado. Dinosaur Discovery Museum. dinosaurdiscoverymuseum.org. Kenosha, Wisconsin. Discovery Center. gemworld.com/Discovery Center. Fresno, California. Discovery Center. mydiscoverycenter.org. Ocala, Florida. Discovery Center and Museum. The Dalles, Oregon. Discovery Center at Murfree Spring. discoverycenteronline.org. Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Discovery Center of the Southern Tier. thediscoverycenter.org. Binghamton, New York. Discovery Creek Children's Museum. Washington, District of Columbia. Discovery Museum and Planetarium. discoverymuseum.org. Bridgeport, Connecticut. Discovery Place, Inc. discoveryplace.org. Charlotte, North Carolina. Discovery Science Place. discoveryscienceplace.org. Tyler, Texas. Discovery World. discoveryworld.org. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Don Harrington Discovery Center. dhdc.org. Amarillo, Texas. DuPage Children's Museum. DuPageChildren'sMuseum.org. Naperville, Illinois. Duluth Children's Museum. DuluthChildren'sMuseum.org. Duluth, Minnesota. Dundalk-Patapsco Historical Society and Museum. Dundalk Train Garden at blogpost.com. Dundalk, Maryland. Dunedin Fine Arts Center. dfac.org. Dunedin, Florida. E3 Children's Museum and Science Center. EAA AirVenture Museum. airventuremuseum.org. Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Earth Science Learning Center /Stories and Stones. storiesandstones.com. Angels Camp, California. East Tennessee Discovery Center. etdiscovery.org. Knoxville, Tennessee. East Texas Oil Museum. easttexasoilmuseum.com. Kilgore, Texas. East Chester Historical Society. Eden Valley Enterprises. edenvalleyenterprises.org. Elyria, Ohio. El Campo Museum of Natural History. El Paso Explorium. elpasoexplorium.org. El Paso, Texas. Ellie Schiller Homosassa Springs Wildlife State Park. homosasasprings.org. Homosassa, Florida. Evanston Art Center. Experience Children's Museum. Erie, Pennsylvania. Explora Science Center and Children's Museum. explora.mus.nm.us. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Exploration Works Montana's Interactive Science Center. explorationworks.org. Helena, Montana. Explorations v Children's Museum. explorationsv.com. Lakeland, Florida. Exploratorium. exploratorium.edu. San Francisco, California. Exploras, the Children's Museum about the world. Fabian Villa Museum and Japanese Garden. ppfv.org/fabian.hdm. Geneva, Illinois. Fairmount Jamaica Historical Society. Family Interactive Gallery, FIG, at Whatcom Museum. whatcommuseum.org. Bellingham, Washington. Family Museum of Arts and Science. familymuseum.org. Bettendorf, Iowa. Farmers Museum. farmersmuseum.org. Cooperstown, New York. Fascinate You Children's Museum. fascinate-u.com. Fayetteville, North Carolina. Feather River Nature Center and Native Plant Park. cityoforoville.org. Oroville, California. Fingerprints Youth Museum. fingerprintsmuseum.com. Hemet, California. Fire Museum of Texas. firemuseumoftexas.org. Beaumont, Texas. Flint Hills Children and S Museum Without Walls. Florida International Museum. floridamuseum.org. St. Petersburg, Florida. Florida Oceanographic Coastal Center. floridaocean.org. Stuart, Florida. Fossaner Art Museum, Florida Institute of Technology. fossanerartmuseum.org. Melbourne, Florida. Forbes House Museum. forbeshousemuseum.org. Milton, Massachusetts. Fort Conco National Historic Landmark. fortconco.com. San Angelo, Texas. Fort Lauderdale Fire and Safety Museum. fortlauderdalefiremuseum.com. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Fort Mifflin on the Delaware. Fort Mifflin.us. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Fort Mill History Museum. FMHM.org. Fort Mill, South Carolina. Fort Morgan State Historic Site. azaleacity.com/Fort Morgan/information.htm. Gulf Shores, Alabama. Fort Sedgwick Museum and Archives. Fort Wayne Children's Zoo. KidsZoo.com. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Fort Worth Aviation Museum. FortWorthAviationMuseum.com. Fort Worth, Texas. Fort Worth Museum of Science and History. FortWorthMuseum.org. Fort Worth, Texas. Founders Park. HamptonHistoricalSociety.org/foundpk.htm. Hampton, New Hampshire. Frederick Meyer Gardens and Sculpture Park. MeyerGardens.org. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Fresno Art Museum. FresnoArtMuseum.org. Fresno, California. Fresno Chaffee Zoo. ChaffeeZoo.org. Fresno, California. Frisco Depot and Museum. FriscoDepot.org. Hugo, Oklahoma. GARMEM. And Veterans Military Muse. Gaithersburg Community Museum. gaithersburgmd.gov/about-us/city-facilities/Gaithersburg-community-museum. Gaithersburg, Maryland. Gamel Garden Museum. gamelgardenmuseum.org. Scandia, Minnesota. Ganondagan State Historic Site. ganondagan.org. Victor, New York. Garfield Park Conservatory. garfield-conservatory.org. Chicago, Illinois. Gary Historical Association. ExperienceGarySD.com. Gary, South Dakota. Gateway to Science. gatewaytoscience.org. Bismarck, North Dakota. Georgia Museum of Agriculture and Historic Village. abac.edu/museum. Tifton, Georgia. Girl Scout First Headquarters. gshg.org. Savannah, Georgia. Gladys Porter Zoo. gpz.org. Brownsville, Texas. Glazer Children's Museum. glazermuseum.org. Tampa, Florida. Golden Isles Arts and Humanities Association. goldenilesarts.org. Brunswick, Georgia. Goodland Presbyterian Children's Home. Gordon Roberts House. gordon-robertshous.com. Cumberland, Maryland. Grand Rapids Children's Museum. grcm.org. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Grand Rapids Public Museum. grmuseum.org. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Great Expectations Children's Museum. gbchildrensmuseum.org. Green Bay, Wisconsin. Great Explorations, the Children's Museum. greatexplorations.org. St. Petersburg, Florida. Great Smoky Mountains Heritage Center. gsmheritagecenter.org. Townsend, Tennessee. Great Valley Serpentarium. snakemuseum.com. Lodi, California. Gregory House Museum. greencountyil.com/gregoryhouse.htm. Whitehall, Illinois. Gulf Coast Explorium and IMAX Theater. Explorium.net. Mobile, Alabama. Gullwings Children's Museum. Gullwings.org. Oxnard, California. Heritage Park. mcfta.org/exhibitions mchs.html. Midland, Michigan. Heritage Park. mcfta.org/exhibitions mchs.html. Midland, Michigan. Habito Children's Museum. habitot.org. Berkeley, California. Halleckville Museum Farm. Halleckville.com. Riverhead, New York. Hampton Historical Society. HamptonHistoricalSociety.org. Hampton, New Hampshire. Hampton Historical Society Fire Museum. HamptonHistoricalSociety.org/fire.htm. Hampton, New Hampshire. Hands-on Children's Museum. Hawkem.org. Olympia, Washington. Hands-on Art Museum. Shirley, Massachusetts. Hands-on House, Children's Museum of Lancaster. Hannah Lindahl Children's Museum. HLCM.org. Mishawaka, Indiana. Happy Hollow Park and Zoo. HHPZ.org. San Jose, California. Harrison County Historical Museum. HarrisonCountyMuseum.org. Marshall, Texas. Hawaii Children's Discovery Center. DiscoveryCenterHawaii.org. Honolulu, Hawaii. Health World Children's Museum. HealthWorldMuseum.org. Barrington, Illinois. HealthWorks. Kids Museum. QualityOfLife.org/HealthWorks. South Bend, Indiana. Helix Community Science Center. Henricus Foundation/Henricus Historical Park. Henricus.org. Chesterfield, Virginia. Henry County Museum and Historical Society. henrycountymuseum.org. Clinton, Missouri. Heritage Canyon. City of Fulton.us/index.php $?m_task $viewlink&link_id=6 $9 Fulton, Illinois. Heritage Farm Museum of Loudoun County. loudounfarmmuseum.org. Sterling, Virginia. Heritage Museum of Montgomery, Texas. heritagemuseum.us. Conroe, Texas. Heritage Museum of Montgomery, Texas. heritagemuseum.us. Conroe, Texas. Heritage Museum of Orange County. centennialmuseum.org. Santa Ana, California. Heritage Museum of Orange County. centennialmuseum.org. Santa Ana, California. Heritage Preservation. heritagepreservation.org. Washington, District of Columbia. Heritage Preservation. heritagepreservation.org. Washington, District of Columbia. Heritage Square. heritageschewaroxnard.com. Oxnard, California. Heritage Square. heritageschewaroxnard.com. Oxnard, California. Hess Heritage Museum. Ashton, Idaho. Hess Heritage Museum. Ashton, Idaho. Hinsdale Historical Society. hinsdalehistory.org. Hinsdale, Illinois. Hinsdale Historical Society. hinsdalehistory.org. Hinsdale, Illinois. Historic Downtown N.C. St. L. Depot and Railroad Museum. tnvacation.com/vendors/nashville_chattanooga_St_Louis_depot_railroad_museum. Jackson, Tennessee. Historic Downtown N.C. St. L. Depot and Railroad Museum. tnvacation.com/vendors/nashville_chattanooga_St_Louis_depot_railroad_museum. Jackson, Tennessee. Historic Elsa Foundation. Historic Elsa Foundation. Historic Huguenot Street. huguenotstreet.org. New Paltz, New York. Historic Huguenot Street. huguenotstreet.org. New Paltz, New York. Historic Oakland Foundation. oaklandcemetery.com. Atlanta, Georgia. Historic Oakland Foundation. oaklandcemetery.com. Atlanta, Georgia. Historic Oregon City, official end of the Oregon Trail. HistoricOregonCity.com. Oregon City, Oregon. Historic Oregon City, official end of the Oregon Trail. HistoricOregonCity.com. Oregon City, Oregon. Historic Virginia Key Beach Park and Museum. VirginiaKeyBeachPark.net. Miami, Florida. Historic Virginia Key Beach Park and Museum. VirginiaKeyBeachPark.net. Miami, Florida. Historical Park of Denton County. DentonCounty.com. Denton, Texas. Historical Park of Denton County. DentonCounty.com. Denton, Texas. Hoboken Historical Museum. HobokenMuseum.org. Hoboken, New Jersey. Hoboken Historical Museum. HobokenMuseum.org. Hoboken, New Jersey. Hockaday Museum of Art. HockadayMuseum.org. Kalispell, Montana. Hockaday Museum of Art. HockadayMuseum.org. Kalispell, Montana. Home of Peace Thornwell Home for Children. Home of Peace Thornwell Home for Children. Homeland Heritage Park. polk-county.net/subpage.aspx ?menu_id =52 $nav res $id $948. Homeland, Florida. Homeland Heritage Park. polk-county.net/subpage.aspx ?menu_id =52 $nav res $id $948. Homeland, Florida. Houston Toy Museum. HoustonToyMuseum.com. Houston, Texas. Houston Toy Museum. HoustonToyMuseum.com. Houston, Texas. Howard County Center of African American Culture. HCCAAC.org. Columbia, Maryland. Howard County Center of African American Culture. HCCAAC.org. Columbia, Maryland. Hudgens Center for the Arts. TheHudgens.org. Duluth, Georgia. Hudson Highlands Nature Museum. hhnaturemuseum.org. Cornwall, New York. IMAG History and Science Center. thimag.org. Fort Myers, Florida. Idea Adventures Children's Museum. Crystal Lake, Illinois. Illinois Arts Alliance. artsalliance.org. Chicago, Illinois. Imaginarium of South Texas. imaginariumstx.org. Laredo, Texas. Imagination Place. Imagination Station Children's Museum. imagineaugusta.org. Augusta, Georgia. Imagine Children's Museum. imaginecm.org. Everett, Washington. Imagine It. The Children's Museum of Atlanta. imagineit-cma.org. Atlanta, Georgia. Imagine It, Inc. Imperial Valley Desert Museum. fordesertmuseum.org. Ocotillo, California. Impression 5 Science Center. impression5.org. Lansing, Michigan. InfoCenter Alabama, Inc. infocenteralabama.com. Helena, Alabama. Institute of Texan Cultures. texancultures.com. San Antonio, Texas. International Children's Art Museum. San Francisco, California. International Cryptozoology Museum. cryptozoologymuseum.com. Portland, Maine. International Museum of Art and Science. imasonline.org. McAllen, Texas. Iredell Museums, Inc. iredellmuseums.org. Statesville, North Carolina. J.C. Ralston Arboretum at NC State University. ncsu.edu/J.C. Ralston Arboretum. Raleigh, North Carolina. James Madison Museum. jamesmadisonmuseum.org. Orange, Virginia. James Whitcomb Riley Home. jrileyhome.spaces.live.com. Greenfield, Indiana. Jarrell Plantation State Historic Site. gastateparks.org/info/Jarrell. Juliet, Georgia. Jasmine Moran Children's Museum. jasminemoran.com. Seminole, Oklahoma. Jewish Museum. thejewishmuseum.org. New York, New York. Joe Carlton Bates Children Education and History Museum. Selma, Alabama. Joseph Moore Museum of Natural History. earlham.edu/jmm. Richmond, Indiana. Jordan Bachman Pioneer Farms. pioneerfarms.org. Austin, Texas. Junior Center of Art and Science. juniorcenter.org. Oakland, California. Kalamazoo Valley Museum. kalamazoomuseum.org. Kalamazoo, Michigan. Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope Children's Museum LLC. nhchildrensmuseum.net. Manchester, New Hampshire. Kauai Children's Discovery Museum. kcdm.org. Kapaa, Hawaii. Kids Quest Children's Museum. kidsquestmuseum.org. Bellevue, Washington. Kids Commons. kidscommons.org. Columbus, Indiana. Kidspace Children's Museum. kidspacemuseum.org. Pasadena, California. Clem Arboretum and Botanic Garden. clem.org. Rockford, Illinois. Cole Children's Museum of Greater Chicago. colechildrensmuseum.org. Glenview, Illinois. L.C. Bates Museum. gwh.org/lkbots. Hinckley, Maine. LAB. Enterprise. La Senora Research Institute. lasenora.org. Santa Monica, California. Lafayette Science Museum. LafayetteScienceMuseum.org. Lafayette, Louisiana. Lake Meredith Aquatic and Wildlife Museum. myspace.com/lmawm. Fritch, Texas. Lakeview Museum of Arts and Sciences. lakeview-museum.org. Peoria, Illinois. Leyland Museum. Cleburne.net/index.aspx?NID=115. Cleburne, Texas. Leinentree Museum of Western Art. leinentreemuseum.com. Boulder, Colorado. Lee Richardson Zoo. gardencity.org/zoo/zoolayout.html, home.html. Garden City, Kansas. Lefferts Historic House. prospectpark.org. Brooklyn, New York. Legends of the Game Baseball Museum. museum.texasrangers.com. Arlington, Texas. Legler Barn Museum. leglerbarn.org. Lenexa, Kansas. Lewistown Art Center. lewistownartcenter.org. Lewistown, Montana. Lied Discovery Children's Museum. ldcm.org. Las Vegas, Nevada. Lighthouse Art Center Museum, Gallery and School of Art. lighthousearts.org. Tequesta, Florida. Lincoln Children's Museum. lincolnchildrensmuseum.org. Lincoln, Nebraska. Linden Depot Museum. lindendepot.com. Linden, Indiana. Living Heritage Museum/New Era One Room School. boe.wood.k12.wv.us/New Era. Mineral Wells, West Virginia. Locust Grove. locustgrove.org. Louisville, Kentucky. Lodi Lake Discovery Center. Lodi.gov. Lodi, California. Long Island Children's Museum. Lichem.org. Garden City, New York. Longmont Museum. Longmont, Colorado. Lori Brock Children's Museum. Bakersfield, California. Los Angeles Children's Museum. childrensmusumla.org. Los Angeles, California. Louisiana Children's Museum. lcm.org. New Orleans, Louisiana. Luray Valley Museum. LurayCaverns.com. Luray, Virginia. Lutherville Historical Colored School No. 24 Museum. LuthervilleColoredSchool.webs.com. Lutherville, Maryland. Lutz Children's Museum. lutzmuseum.org. Manchester, Connecticut. Linden House Arts Center. Links Exhibits. linksexhibits.com. El Paso, Texas. MY Museum. Monterey, California. Mel Fisher Maritime Heritage Society and Museum. mlfisher.org. Key West, Florida. MOXI, the Wolf Museum of Exploration and Innovation. moxi.org. Santa Barbara, California. MRB Lewis and Clark Center. mrb-lewisandclarkcenter.org. Nebraska City, Nebraska. Machiasport Historical Society, Gates House Museum. machiasporthistoricalsociety.org. Machiasport, Maine. Madison Children's Museum. Madison, Wisconsin. Magic House. magichouse.org. St. Louis, Missouri. Maine Historical Society and Museum. mainehistory.org. Portland, Maine. Marietta Museum of History. mariettahistory.org. Marietta, Georgia. Maritime and Seafood Industry Museum. maritimemuseum.org. Biloxi, Mississippi. Martha's Vineyard Historical Society. mvmuseum.org. Vineyard Haven, Massachusetts. Martin and Sue King Railroad Heritage Museum. City of Cleveland.dms.com. Cleveland, Mississippi. Mary Vagel Nature Center. Fontana.org/index.aspx?NID =196. Fontana, California. Matthews Living History Farm Museum. matthewsfarmmuseum.org. Galax, Virginia. Mayborn Museum Complex, Baylor University. maybornmuseum.com. Waco, Texas. McCrossan Boys Ranch, Visitor Center Museum. mccrossan.org. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. McFarland Living History Ranch. mcfarlandranch.org. Galt, California. McKee Botanical Garden. mckeegarden.org. Vero Beach, Florida. McKenna Children's Museum. mckennakids.org. New Braunfels, Texas. McWane Science Center. mcwayne.org. Birmingham, Alabama. Miami Children's Museum. miamichildrensmuseum.org. Miami, Florida. Michigan Science Center. mi-sci.org. Detroit, Michigan. Mid-Michigan Children's Museum. mechildrensmuseum.org. Saginaw, Michigan. Midland Center for the Arts. mcfta.org. Midland, Michigan. Mill Mountain Zoological Park. mmzoo.org. Roanoke, Virginia. Milwaukee County Zoo. milwaukeezoo.org. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Minnesota Children's Museum. mcm.org. St. Paul, Minnesota. Minnesota Historical Society. mnhs.org. St. Paul, Minnesota. Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience. msarts.org. Meridian, Mississippi. Mississippi Coast Model Railroad Museum. mcmrcm.org. Gulfport, Mississippi. Mississippi Museum of Natural Science. msnaturalscience.org. Jackson, Mississippi. Mork Regional Railroad Museum. Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Mobile Area Museum Association. mobileareamuseums.org. Mobile, Alabama. Moccasin Lake Nature Park. clearwater-fl.com. Clearwater, Florida. Monterey Bay Aquarium. mbayaq.org. Monterey, California. Morris Arboretum. business-services.upenn.edu/arboretum/index.html. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Morris Museum of Art. themerris.org. Augusta, Georgia. Mountain Farm Museum and Mingus Mill. nps.gov/grsm/planyarvisit/mfm.hdm. Cherokee, North Carolina. MT Prospect Historical Society. mtphist.org. Mount Prospect, Illinois. MT Shasta Sisson Museum. mtshastamuseum.com. Mount Shasta, California. Muncie Children's Museum. Muncie, Indiana. Museum for Children's Picture Books. Museum Village in Orange County. museumvillage.org. Monroe, New York. Museum of Art at the University of New Hampshire. unh.edu/moa. Durham, New Hampshire. Museum of Art, DeLand. moartdeland.org. DeLand, Florida. Museum of Arts and Sciences. moas.org. Daytona Beach, Florida. Museum of Children's Art, MoCA. moca.org. Oakland, California. Museum of Culpeper History. culpepermuseum.com. Culpeper, Virginia. Museum of Glass. museumofglass.org. Tacoma, Washington. Museum of History and Holocaust Education. kennesaw.edu/historymuseum. Kennesaw, Georgia. Museum of Natural History. uiowa.edu/tildenathist. Iowa City, Iowa. Museum of Science and Industry. msichicago.org. Chicago, Illinois. Museum of South Texas History. mosthistory.org. Edinburgh, Texas. Museum of the American Numismatic Association. money.org/am/template.cfm $?home. Colorado Springs, Colorado. Museum of the Arkansas Grand Prairie. grandprairiemuseum.org. Stuttgart, Arkansas. Museum of the Southwest. museumsw.org. Midland, Texas. Museums of Port Isabel. portisablemuseums.com. Port Isabel, Texas. My Jewish Discovery Place. My Jewish Discovery Place Children's Museum. sorefjcc.org. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Naples Botanical Garden. naplesgarden.org. Naples, Florida. Naples Historical Society, Inc. napleshistoricalsociety.org. Naples, Florida. Nassau County Art Museum. nassaumuseum.com/index.html. Roslyn Harbor, New York. Nassau County Museum of Art. nassaumuseum.org. Roslyn Harbor, New York. National Academy Museum and School. nationalacademy.org. New York, New York. National Air and Space Museum. nasm.si.edu. Washington, District of Columbia. National Aquarium. aqua.org/visit/DC. Washington, District of Columbia. National Bobblehead Hall of Fame and Museum. Bobbleheadhall.com. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. National Capital Historical Museum of Transportation. dctrolley.org. Silver Spring, Maryland. National Center for Children's Illustrated Literature. nccil.org. Abilene, Texas. National Children's Museum. ccm.org. National Harbor, Maryland. National Electronics Museum. nationalelectronicsmuseum.org. Linthicum, Maryland. National Hispanic Cultural Center. nationalhispaniccenter.org. Albuquerque, New Mexico. National Liberty Museum. libertymuseum.org. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. National Museum of African American History and Culture. washington.org/smithsonian-institution-museums. Washington, District of Columbia. National Museum of Wildlife Art. wildlifeart.org. Jackson, Wyoming. National Pike Steam, Gas and Horse Association. nationalpike.com. Brownsville, Pennsylvania. National Scouting Museum. bsamuseum.org. Irving, Texas. NatSoc of Children of American Revel. Natural Bridge Zoo. naturalbridgezoo.com. Natural Bridge, Virginia. Natural History Museum of Utah. nhmu.utah.edu. Salt Lake City, Utah. Natural History Society of Maryland. marylandnature.org. Baltimore, Maryland. Needham Historical Society. needhamhistory.org. Needham, Massachusetts. Needwood Mansion. montgomeryparks.org. Rockville, Maryland. New Windsor Cantonment State Historic Site. friendsofpalisades.org. Vales Gate, New York. Niles Historical Museum. Niles, Illinois. North Carolina Museum of History. ncmusumofhistory.org. Raleigh, North Carolina. North Delta Museum. Friars Point, Mississippi. Northeastern Nevada Historical Society and Museum. museumelco.org. Elko, Nevada. Norton Museum of Art. norton.org. West Palm Beach, Florida. Norwalk Historical Society. norwalkhistoricalsociety.org. Norwalk, Connecticut. Odessa Meteor Crater and Museum. Odessa, Texas. Ohio Valley Children's Museum. New Harmony, Indiana. Oklahoma State Firefighters Museum. osfa.info. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Old Bradford Pioneer Village. ChickasawTrails.com. Nashua, Iowa. Old Courthouse Museum. Iroquois County Historical Society.com. Watseka, Illinois. Old Fort Bliss Museum. Fort Bliss, Texas. Old Fort Steuben Project Inc. oldfortsteuben.com. Steubenville, Ohio. Ollie also and Stanley to Fine Mess Old Car Museum of Harlem. Olmsted Place. Omaha Children's Museum. ocm.org. Omaha, Nebraska. Orange County Historical Museum. orangenchihistory.org. Hillsborough, North Carolina. Orpheum Children's Science Museum. orpheumkids.org. Champaign, Illinois. Palm Beach Zoo and Conservation Society. palmbeachzoo.org. West Palm Beach, Florida. Paniwa Rainforest Zoo. helozoo.com. Hilo, Hawaii. Pember Library and Museum. pembermuseum.com. Granville, New York. Pemberton Hall. pembertonhall.org. Salisbury, Maryland. Permian Basin Petroleum Museum Library and Hall of Fame. petroleummuseum.org. Midland, Texas. Parrott Museum of Nature and Science. parrottmuseum.org. Dallas, Texas. Philip Foster Farm. phillyfosterfarm.com. Eagle Creek, Oregon. Phoenix Zoo. phoenixzoo.org. Phoenix, Arizona. Pioneer Craft House. pioneercrafthouse.com. Salt Lake City, Utah. Pioneer History Museum. cityofOroville.org. Oroville, California. Pittsburgh Children's Museum. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Please Touch Museum. pleasetouchmuseum.org. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Plymouth Plantation, Inc. Plymouth.org. Plymouth, Massachusetts. Pony Express National Museum. ponyexpress.org. St. Joseph, Missouri. Port Discovery, the Children's Museum in Baltimore. portdiscovery.org. Baltimore, Maryland. Portland Children's Museum. portlandcm.org. Portland, Oregon. Portland Museum of Art. portlandmuseum.org. Portland, Maine. Portsmouth Museums Foundation. portsmouthmuseumsfoundation.org. Portsmouth, Virginia. Post Rock Scout Museum. postrockscoutmuseum.com. Lincoln, Kansas. Postal History Foundation. postalhistoryfoundation.org. Tucson, Arizona. Poulsbo Children's Museum. Silverdale, Washington. Promised Land Zoo. pleaseoo.com. Eagle Rock, Missouri. Providence Children's Museum. childrenmuseum.org. Providence, Rhode Island. Pueblo Zoo. pueblozoo.org. Pueblo, Colorado. Punxsutawney Area Historical and Genealogical Society. punxsyhistory.org. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Quaint Corner Children's Museum and Discovery Center. quaintcorner.org. Altoona, Pennsylvania. Quincy Museum. thequincymuseum.com/index.html. Quincy, Illinois. RAR West Art Museum. rarwestartmuseum.org. Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Railroad Museum. coloradorailroadmuseum.org. Golden, Colorado. Randall Museum. randallmuseum.org. San Francisco, California. Real Rail. realrail.org. Bradenton, Florida. Red Mill Museum. theredmill.org. Clinton, New Jersey. Red River Valley Museum. rrvmuseum.org. Vernon, Texas. Redwood Discovery Museum. discovery-museum.org. Eureka, California. Republic of Texas Museum. drtinfo.org. Austin, Texas. Ridge Historical Society. ridgehistoricalsociety.org. Chicago, Illinois. Ripley's Believe It or Not. Times Square. ripleysnewyork.com. New York, New York. Riverside Youth Museum/Kid Zone. Robert W. Ryers's Library and Museum. ryersmuseum.org. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Robinson Nature Center. howardcountymd.gov/robinsonnaturecenter.hdm. Columbia, Maryland. Rocky Mountain Dinosaur Resource Center. rmdrc.com. Woodland Park, Colorado. Rogers Historical Museum. rogersar.gov/220/historical-museum. Rogers, Arkansas. Rookery Bay National Estuarine Research Reserve. rookerybay.org. Naples, Florida. Roper Mountain Science Center. ropermountain.org. Greenville, South Carolina. Rosamond Gifford Zoo at Burnett Park. rosamondgiffordζoo.org. Syracuse, New York. Roundhouse Marine Studies Lab and Aquarium/Museum. roundhouseaquarium.org. Manhattan Beach, California. SOM Arts Cultural Center. SOMRTS.org. San Francisco, California. Sacramento Children's Museum. SACIDS.org. Rancho Cordova, California. Sacramento River Discovery Center. srdc.tahoma.k12.ca.us. Red Bluff, California. Sainte Marie among the Iroquois. onav.net/parks. Liverpool, New York. San Antonio Children's Museum. sacids.org. San Antonio, Texas. San Bernardino County Victor Valley Museum. sbcountymuseum.org. Apple Valley, California. San Diego Children's Discovery Museum. sdcdm.org. Escondido, California. San Diego Children's Discovery Museum. sdcdm.org. Escondido, California. San Luis Obispo Children's Museum. slowcm.org. San Luis Obispo, California. Santa Fe Children's Museum. santafechildrensmuseum.org. Santa Fe, New Mexico. Schoolhouse Children's Museum and Learning Center. schoolhousemuseum.org. Boynton Beach, Florida. SciQuest. sci-quest.org. Huntsville, Alabama. SciTech Center of Northern New York. scitechcenter.org. Watertown, New York. Science and Discovery Center of Northwest Florida. scienceanddiscoverycenter.org. Panama City, Florida. Science Museum of Virginia. smv.org. Richmond, Virginia. Science Museum of Western Virginia. smwv.org. Roanoke, Virginia. Scotia Glenville Children's Museum. travelingmuseum.org. Scotia, New York. Scoville Children's Zoo. Seacoast Science Center. seacoastsciencecenter.org. Rye, New Hampshire. Sebastopol Center for the Arts. sebarts.org. Sebastopol, California. Seminole County Public Schools Student Museum. scps.k12.fl.us. Sanford, Florida. Shenandoah Valley Discovery Museum. discoverymuseum.net. Winchester, Virginia. Shoreline Historical Museum. shorelinehistoricalmuseum.org. Shoreline, Washington. Slovenian Union of America, Slovenian Heritage Museum. slovenianunion.org. Joliet, Illinois. Smithsonian Marine Station at Fort Pierce. sms.si.edu/sme. Fort Pierce, Florida. Southern Forest World. southernforestworld.org. Waycross, Georgia. Southampton Historical Museum. southamptonhistoricalmuseum.org. Southampton, New York. Spartanburg Art Museum, SAM. spartanburgartmuseum.org. Spartanburg, South Carolina. Spokane Children's Museum. Spokane, Washington. St. Lucie County Regional History Center. sdlucieco.gov/history. Fort Pierce, Florida. State Museum of History. ok-history.mus.ok.us. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Staten Island Children's Museum. Staten Island, New York. Stepping Stones Museum for Children. steppingstonesmuseum.org. Norwalk, Connecticut. Stevens Memorial Museum. johnhaycenter.org. Salem, Indiana. Stratton Arts Festival. vtliving.com. Manchester, Vermont. Stratton Arts Festival. vtliving.com. Manchester, Vermont. Suffolk Art League. suffolkartleague.org. Suffolk, Virginia. Suffolk Art League. suffolkartleague.org. Suffolk, Virginia. Suffolk Museum. suffolkmusumva.com. Suffolk, Virginia. Suffolk Museum. suffolkmusumva.com. Suffolk, Virginia. Sumter County Museum. sumtercountymuseum.org. Sumter, South Carolina. Sumter County Museum. sumtercountymuseum.org. Sumter, South Carolina. Suquamish Museum. suquamishmuseum.org. Suquamish, Washington. Suquamish Museum. suquamishmuseum.org. Suquamish, Washington. Swan Ecosystem Center. swanecosystemcenter.org. Condon, Montana. Swan Ecosystem Center. swanecosystemcenter.org. Condon, Montana. Swananoa Valley Museum. swananoavalleymuseum.org. Black Mountain, North Carolina. Swananoa Valley Museum. swananoavalleymuseum.org. Black Mountain, North Carolina. Swedish American Museum. swedishamericanmuseum.org. Chicago, Illinois. Swedish American Museum. swedishamericanmuseum.org. Chicago, Illinois. Sweetwater County Historical Museum. sweetwatermuseum.org. Green River, Wyoming. Sweetwater County Historical Museum. sweetwatermuseum.org. Green River, Wyoming. Taco Bell Discovery Science Center. discoverycube.org. Santa Ana, California. Taco Bell Discovery Science Center. discoverycube.org. Santa Ana, California. Telephone Museum of New Mexico. Telephone Museum of New Mexico. TELUS, Northwest Georgia Science Museum. telusmuseum.org. Cartersville, Georgia. TELUS, Northwest Georgia Science Museum. telusmuseum.org. Cartersville, Georgia. Tempe History Museum. tempe.gov/museum. Tempe, Arizona. Tempe History Museum. tempe.gov/museum. Tempe, Arizona. Terre Haute Children's Museum. terrehauteChildren'sMuseum.com. Terre Haute, Indiana. Terre Haute Children's Museum. terrehauteChildren'sMuseum.com. Terre Haute, Indiana. Texarkana Museum System. texarkanamuseums.org. Texarkana, Texas. Texarkana Museum System. texarkanamuseums.org. Texarkana, Texas. Texas Air Museum. texasairmuseum.org. San Antonio, Texas. Texas Air Museum. texasairmuseum.org. San Antonio, Texas. Texas Capitol. teaspoonb.texas.gov. Austin, Texas. Texas Capitol. teaspoonb.texas.gov. Austin, Texas. Texas City Museum. texas-city-tx.org. Texas City, Texas. Texas City Museum. texas-city-tx.org. Texas City, Texas. Texas Discovery Gardens. texasdiscoverygardens.org. Dallas, Texas. Texas Discovery Gardens. texasdiscoverygardens.org. Dallas, Texas. Texas State Railroad Palestine Depot. texasstater.com. Palestine, Texas. Texas State Railroad Rusk Depot. texasstater.com. Rusk, Texas. Tasoma Children's Museum. TasomaChildren'sMuseum.org. Denison, Texas. The Altaville School. calaverascohistorical.com/buildings/altaville.html. Angels Camp, California. The Anchorage Museum Imaginarium Discovery Center. AnchorageMuseum.org. Anchorage, Alaska. The Ballard Institute and Museum of Puppetry. bimp.yukon.edu. Stores, Connecticut. The Bishop Museum of Science and Nature. bishopscience.org. Bradenton, Florida. The Children's Museum. thechildrensmuseum.org. Seattle, Washington. The Children's Museum at Saratoga. cmssnewyork.org. Saratoga Springs, New York. The Children's Museum of Houston. cmhouston.org. Houston, Texas. The Children's Museum of Science and Technology. cmost.org. Troy, New York. The Children's Museum of Utah/exhibits for children. childmuseum.org. Salt Lake City, Utah. The Children's Museum of Wilmington. playwilmington.org. Wilmington, North Carolina. The Children's Museum, Inc. the-childrens-museum.org. Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. The Children's Museum, Pittsfield. The Children's Museum of Rose Hill Manor Park. co.frederick.md.us/Rosehill. Frederick, Maryland. The Colorado Springs Children's Museum and Natural History Museum. coloradosprings.childrensmuseum.com. Colorado Springs, Colorado. The Columbus Museum. columbusmuseum.com. Columbus, Georgia. The Contemporary Museum, Honolulu. tcmhi.org. Honolulu, Hawaii. The Cora Hartshorn Arboretum. hartshornarboretum.org. Short Hills, New Jersey. The Cultural Center at Ponte Vedra Beach. ccpvb.org. Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. The Curran Homestead Living History Farm and Museum. curranhomestead.org. Orrington, Maine. The Delaware Children's Theater. thechildrenstheater.org. Wilmington, Delaware. The Discovery Museums. discoverymuseums.org. Acton, Massachusetts. The Enchanted Mansion, a doll museum. facebook.com/The Enchanted Mansion. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The Explorium of Lexington. explorium.com. Lexington, Kentucky. The Fairfield Museum. fairfieldhistory.org. Fairfield, Connecticut. The Franco-American Center. francoamericancentran.com. Manchester, New Hampshire. The Grace Museum. thegracemuseum.org. Abilene, Texas. The Health Museum. thehealthmuseum.org. Houston, Texas. The International Museum of Radiant Peace. radiantpeace.org. St. Petersburg, Florida. The L. Ron Hubbard Museum. lronhubbard.org/houses/DC. Washington, District of Columbia. The Little Nature Museum. littlenaturemuseum.org. Warner, New Hampshire. The Morgan Library and Museum. themergan.org. New York, New York. The Nathan of Dorchester. skipjack-nathan.org. Cambridge, Maryland. The New Children's Museum. thinkplaycreate.org/index.html. San Diego, California. The Paint Place. thepaintplacine.com. New York City, New York. The Pember Nature Preserve. pembermuseum.com. East Hebron, New York. The Rocky Mount Children's Museum. web.enorthcarolina.org/net/org/info.aspx S equals 44976.0.0.37430. Rocky Mount, North Carolina. The Science Center of Southern Illinois. YourScienceCenter.com. Carbondale, Illinois. The Speed Art Museum. SpeedMuseum.org. Louisville, Kentucky. The Wizard of Ounce Museum. WizardofOunceFlorida.com. Cape Canaveral, Florida. The Works. ThuRKS.org. Bloomington, Minnesota. The World's Largest Toy Museum. World'sLargestToyMuseum.com. Branson, Missouri. The Youth Museum. TheYouthMuseum.org. Marietta, Georgia. This is the Place Heritage Park. ThisIsThePlace.org. Salt Lake City, Utah. Thomas Warren Museum. THOMAS-WARNE-MUSEUM.com. Matawan, New Jersey. Three Rivers Children Museum. artcom.com/museum/nv/SC/99336-11.htm. Richland, Washington. Tidewater Southern Railway Historical Society Museum. TidewatersOutHernRailway.org. Stockton, California. Time and the Valleys Museum. TamiaandTheValleysMuseum.org. Grahamsville, New York. Tohono O'odham Nation Cultural Center and Museum. TONATION-NSN.gov. Tapahua, Arizona. Toilet Seat Art Museum. San Antonio, Texas. Toy and Hobby Museum. Orrville, Ohio. Tree Hill Jacksonville's Nature Center. treehill.org. Jacksonville, Florida. Treehouse Children's Museum. treehousemuseum.org. Ogden, Utah. Trimborn Farm. milwaukee.history.net/historic_properties/trimborn_farm.html. Greendale, Wisconsin. Tuck Museum. hamptonhistoricalsociety.org/tuck.htm. Hampton, New Hampshire. Tucson Children's Museum. TucsonChildren'sMuseum.org. Tucson, Arizona. Tucson Rodeo Parade Museum. TucsonRodeoParade.org. Tucson, Arizona. Turtle Bay Exploration Park. TuttleBay.org. Redding, California. 20th Century Technology Museum. 20thcenturytech.org. Warden, Texas. Twin City Model Railroad Museum. tcmrm.org. St. Paul, Minnesota. University of West Florida Historic Trust, of Height. HistoricPensacola.org. Pensacola, Florida. Upper Peninsula Children's Museum. upcmkids.org. Marquette, Michigan. Utica Children's Museum. uticacm.org. Utica, New York. Vesterheim Norwegian American Museum. vesterheim.org. Decorah, Iowa. Village of Elsa Museum. Elsa, Illinois. Virginia Discovery Museum. vadm.org. Charlottesville, Virginia. Virginia Living Museum. thevlm.org. Newport News, Virginia. Virginia Museum of History and Culture. virginiahistory.org. Richmond, Virginia. Visual Arts Center of Northwest Florida. vac.org.cn. Panama City, Florida. Walter Elwood Museum. walterelwoodmuseum.org. Amsterdam, New York. Warrenville Historical Museum. warrenvillehistorical.org. Warrenville, Illinois. Warwick Museum of Art. warwickmuseum.org. Warwick, Rhode Island. Washington Park Zoo. michigancityparks.com/index.php/zoo-home. Michigan City, Indiana. West Bay Common School Children's Museum. aniroomschoolhouse.org. League City, Texas. West Tennessee Regional Arts Center. wtrack.tn.org. Humboldt, Tennessee. Western Forest Industries Museum/MT Rainier Scenic Railroad. mrsr.com. Mineral, Washington. Western Heritage Center. westernheritagecenter.org. Monroe, Washington. Whipple Company Store and Appalachian Heritage Educational Museum. whipplecompany.store.com. Scarborough, West Virginia. Wilbur D. May Museum. Reno, Nevada. Wildcare. wildsierraarea.org. San Rafael, California. Wilderness Traveling Museum. Cuchoch, New York. Willard House and Clock Museum. willardhouse.org. North Grafton, Massachusetts. Willow Park Zoo. loganutah.org/parks_rec/willow_park/index.cfm. Logan, Utah. Wilmette Historical Museum. wilmettehistory.org. Wilmette, Illinois. Winter Park Historical Association and Museum. wphistory.org. Winter Park, Florida. WonderWorks Children's Museum. wonderworkschildrensmuseum.org. The Dalles, Oregon. Woodcraft Nature Center and Museum. culver.org/woodcraft. Culver, Indiana. Woodman Institute Museum. woodmaninstitutemuseum.org. Dover, New Hampshire. World Awareness Children's Museum. worldchildrensmuseum.org. Glens Falls, New York. World of Wonders Science Museum. wowsciencemuseum.org. Lodi, California. World's Smallest Museum. worldsmallestmuseum.com. Superior, Arizona. Wyan.popcorn Museum. wyan.popcornmuse.com. Marion, Ohio. Wyoming Children's Museum and Nature Center. Wyoming State Museum. wyomuseum.state.wy.us. Cheyenne, Wyoming. Yakima Valley Museum. yvmuseum.org. Yakima, Washington. Young at Art Museum. youngatartmuseum.org. Davie, Florida. Youth Art Connection. bgcma.org. Atlanta, Georgia. Youth Museum of the Finger Lakes. Yuma Proving Ground Heritage Center. Zeeland Historical Museum. zealandmuseum.org. Zeeland, Michigan. Zion's Gateway to the Stars. Zoo Tampa at Lowry Park. zootampa.org. Tampa, Florida. Tag. Children's Museum of St. Augustine. tagmuseum.org. St. Augustine, Florida. Tag. Children's Museum of St. Augustine. tagmuseum.org. St. Augustine, Florida.